Okay, good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to this next episode of FPL Family with me, Lee, and this is Sam. And Sam, yet another week where only one clean sheet in the Premier League. Only one clean sheet. Sunderland. This week. If you'd have said to me we get to the end of this game week and there's only one clean sheet and it'd be Sunderland, I'd have thought you're mad. But it's Goalfest. Goalfest after Goalfest. What's going on this season? Random, innit?
I benched it, that clean sheet.
The only clean sheet this game week was Sunderland and you benched it. Many will have.
And not only did I bench it, but I thought I was in for an absolute haul from Nicholas Pope. Only for it to just all go to pot right at the death.
Well, you want to get that out there early, do you? The Alderete benching.
17.
He's you're never going to play him. It's wildcard week. He's your 4.0. You're never going to play him. You can't beat yourself up about that.
Oh, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. It's one of those. It's one of those, like, I wanted Timber to be sick today. Badly wanted Timber to be sick today. I'm not beating myself up about it. I at no point considered playing him. Alderete is literally there for game week 8. That's it.
17 points.
But 17 points.
Absolutely
I mean,
mad.
that is the sort of swing that...
Oh, dreamland.
That, makes a bad season good.
Season defining. Well, not only have we had loads of goals, Sam, but loads of late goals again. Loads of late drama, as usual, in the Premier League.
Standard Liverpool behaviour, except it didn't go for you this time.
Well, it's interesting that you just jumped straight to Liverpool because Arsenal had a bit of late drama. We had Man City with a bit of late drama. We had Spurs with a bit of late drama, but you've immediately gone to Liverpool following the narrative that's on X and Twitch. That's interesting.
I don't go on X, so you can say that all you like, but I couldn't tell you what's going on
Liverpool.
Over on X because
Always leaving it
I don't
late.
go there. But Liverpool leaving it late, but losing this time, and I didn't really see that coming.
Well, we'll talk about that in a bit if we have to. But I was thinking more about the Haaland triple captainers who, up until the 90th or so minute, we're getting just an assist from Haaland, which is a wildcard this week, and as a non-triple captainer. And I think, to be fair, on Ohana last week, and this time last week we sat and we said, were we not wildcarding, we probably would have played the triple captain. I would have played the triple captain on Haaland, pretty sure this week. But those of you that did, well done and fair play, because that is a monster haul. 2 goals in the 91st and the 90-something minute, right? It was unbelievable, right? And not only did he get those 2 goals, of course then, he goes on to get the 3 bonus as well. So a brilliant haul in a first half of the season where we are, I think, fairly unlikely to get a double game week, it seems. I mean, it's never say never, but it seems quite unlikely.
Something major would have to go off.
Something major would have to happen. So we're unlikely to get a double game week. So therefore, to play your triple captain in a single game week and for that player to get 2 goals and assist, I can only applaud you, Haaland triple captain. It's fair play. Fair play.
Why are we applauding it? It's the most obvious...
Should we not?
No, it's because it's the most obvious place to play it. If you didn't play it and you could have played it, I don't know why you didn't.
Bitter much?
No, it's not. I don't mean that in a bitter way. It's just that I think of all of the weeks to play it, at home to the worst XGC team in the league was the obvious week to play it. So I don't think it's an applaudable thing. It's just like, okay, it's the best game week of the season to play it for Haaland come at the moment.
All right. Yeah. Bit bitter this evening. Are you okay, or what's going on?
No, I'm not bitter at all. I just think that applauding it, like, it's not like they've put the triple captain on like Alderete.
Well, who's doing that?
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, if you do something rogue like that and it comes off, then you deserve the round of applause. If you walk a marathon like George did last week, you deserve a round of applause. Playing the triple captain on Haaland against Burnley, I mean, it's a bit blooming obvious.
Okay. All right, well, up until the 91st minute, Sam, those triple captainers were not thinking this is obvious, and the narrative could have been very, very different. But 2 late goals for the big Norwegian meat shield means that those triple captainers...
Sorry, what did you just call him?
The big Norwegian meat shield. That's what he's called on Twitter. You need to be on Twitter.
That is ridiculous. Who calls him that?
Or the big Norwegian robot. One of those two. Anyway, Haaland. Okay. Well done, triple captainers. Lots to discuss as usual, guys. Welcome to the FPL Family live stream. We'll be talking about, obviously, our game weeks. We'll find out whether our wildcards went well or not. All that sort of good stuff. We're talking about how we think we're set for next week as well. So given that we both wildcarded this week, you'd think that we'd be all right. You'd think going into next week, the teams would be set for the next few weeks. And we both rolled 2 free transfers through the wildcard, right?
Yeah.
So I'm coming into this week, into game week 7 now, with 2 free transfers, having just wildcarded, and some money in the bank. I still fancy a change. There's still a couple of changes I'd like to make, and I don't like it because I thought the wildcard had set me up for a few weeks, but I'm getting itchy already on a couple of players.
Oh, for
already.
Sake.
Already.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Before we get into it and before we say hello to people, because I think this time last week we sat here and I was fairly sure I was going to hit the button.
Yeah.
But you seem to be fairly...
Against it.
Yeah. What changed?
I don't know if I was against it last Sunday, but I was certainly on the fence. Put it that way, on the fence.
So what changed? Why did you do it?
Well, as I said on Ohana on Thursday, for those of you that listen to our Ohana podcast, which is now free for all of you to listen to, you don't have to be a patron member now or give us any money to listen to the Ohana podcast. Just go over to patreon.com/FPL family and you can get our game week preview free as a podcast every Thursday. We've had loads and loads of new free tier members over on the Patreon. So welcome if you're new over on the Patreon. As I said on the Ohana last week, I had a little bit of regret, actually. I had a bit of regret. I think that I probably didn't need to play the wildcard. I did in the end, mainly because I wanted to avoid... There's a lot of price changes.
There was, yeah.
There's a lot of price falls in my team. And having gone through the first 5 or 6 game weeks going, I'm not going to get swayed this season too much by price increases or decrease. I'm going to try and just wait for the information. I think I said that in a few Sundays. I said information is going to be most important. I'm going to prioritise it this year. So having said that, to then go and play the wild card on the back of, I'm getting itchy about getting a few price drops. I did think, well, I definitely want to bring Haaland and another City player in, which I did. Haaland and Reinders came in. Okay. And then there was some other stuff that I wanted to do. Like I wanted to fix Porro, who in the end actually was benched this week. And then I wanted to fix Munoz, who in the end actually could have scored and got a haul this week. I wanted to fix Gakpo, who was also benched this week, although I thought Liverpool were worse off for benching him. We'll talk about that in a bit. So, I don't know, in the end, I was sort of on the fence. In the end, I just thought, let's just do it. Let's just do it. And actually, in hindsight now, looking back at it, had I just spent my 2 free transfers on Salah and Watkins, and by the way, Watkins did all right today. Got to talk about that in a sec.
Yeah, but that's inevitable.
It is, isn't it? As soon as I take him out. But Salah and Watkins to Haaland and Reinders, those would have been my 2 free transfers. Would have then triple captained Haaland and would have still had the wild card in the bank. It is what it is. It is what it is. There was still lots that I wanted to do. And by the way, I still have 2 players to go on my wild card. So despite the fact I'm on a small red, I've gone down from 1.2 million to 1.37 million. I've still got Tarkowski and I've still got Kidd and Dewsbury Hall to play tomorrow night in Everton versus West Ham, which
the game changed there.
Well, had Graham Potter stuck around, I was feeling quite confident about that. But now that he's been unceremoniously sacked,
what was that?
And within the hour, Nuno Espirito Santo is in at West Ham. It's like I'm not surprised that Potter was sacked, frankly, but for them to go and act on Nuno as quickly as they did, was quite a surprise actually.
It was, yeah.
It's a different game now. You're right. It's a
different game, and I think I was very. Angsty, I think is the right word, about not picking any Everton players. I felt really uneasy about it for this week. Didn't like them as part of my long-term strategy because of my bench boost strategy.
Yeah.
But I was worried about it for this week. I don't know now, you see, because now I went into I took Evie to the gym on Saturday morning. So those of you that follow my stories on Saturday morning would have seen this. And I was sat on the wall outside where we do our class and I was like, blimey, West Ham have just sacked Potter. Went in, did my class, came out, walked back through the lounge, and they'd hired Nuno. And I was like, good Lord, you didn't hang about. But it does change the narrative. Lee, that's your word.
You love a bit of narrative. Daniel Banks is in the chat. He's saying, I like the fact... I missed this, right? Daniel Banks is saying, you like the fact there was pictures of Nuno taking training before the club announced him. Is that true?
Well, they just...
Holy smokes,
honestly, it was so ridiculous.
That's mad.
Just came out, Potter's been sacked.
That's mad.
Next thing you know, you see pictures of Nuno with the players. Next thing you know, the club's announcing he's the manager. It's like, what's happening? It was so weird on Saturday morning. And not 24 hours before... Graham Potter was giving a press conference about his plans for the week and talking about his memes.
Webby says that in the chat. He says, can't believe they made him do the press conference.
It's so weird.
It's crazy.
Clearly they know he's getting sacked. So why make him do the presser?
Good Lord.
It's so weird. Honestly, it's such weird behaviour.
Good Lord. So that game now, Everton versus West Ham, it does take on a different significance now, right? There's probably going to be some new manager bounce. As I said to you before, though, a couple of hours ago when we were watching the Arsenal game, I think if now West Ham were going into a game against a team that were, a bit chronically out of form, if they were going into, say, a Villa, who I know they won today, but a bit out of form, into a Man United, maybe even into a Chelsea now on the back of what they've done last couple of weeks, you'd say it's a different sort of game. But Moyes is doing well. They've had a good start to the season. Their signings are coming and done pretty well. I still back Everton to get the job done tomorrow night. I still do. But as you say, I don't think it's quite as... I was going into it thinking I've got Tarko and I've got Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. Give me my 20 points an hour. Whereas now I'm a bit like, ooh, okay, well, we'll see how it goes.
In my head, I thought I was going to get smashed up tomorrow night. Now I'm not quite so sure that that's going to be the case.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's say hello to a few people, Sam. We've got Dahlia is in. Hey, Dahlia, nice to see you. Andrew Eames is in. 84 points
Very
for
nice,
Andrew
very
Eames.
nice.
That's by the way, Sam, that is a 3.2 million green arrow to 1.7 million.
Lovely stuff.
Listen, Andrew, we are still at that point of the season, mate. And for all of you that are, still unhappy with your rank for whatever reason, just shows you one good week and you can go flying up. You've gone up like 2 million places this week. It's absolutely insane, isn't it? And that would have been knock another million off of that if Pope had kept that clean sheet.
Oh, was it 5 something when Pope was doing it?
Yeah, I mean, he's easily the best player on the pitch for 85 minutes and then he loses them the game in the final 5 minutes. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. George is in, of course he is. George, nice to see you. 90 points with the triple captain. All out and on a 2.6 million green arrow. Very nice that, George. Very nice. And well done with the TC, mate. George has actually backed Haaland from the beginning. He's been one of those. He's always had Haaland. And that's, absolutely proven to be right to have Haaland over Salah now since the beginning of the season. Great Del Mondo is in. 87 points. Guy, there's some good scores knocking about this week. Some very good scores. Dave is in. Free hit this week for me. Went well thanks to Haaland. Yes, well done, Dave. Hopefully, though, Dave, you've got some plans to bring Haaland in now on a permanent basis. If you bought him in on the free hit, good, nice for this week, but I think you want him now going forward, don't you? I think you do. Babani is here. Nice to see you, Babani. We've got FPL Victorious Secret, one of our channel members here. Nice to see you, Victorious Secret. We've got a couple of super chats, I think, from Matthew Knights. Thank you, Matthew Knights. Love the stream. Have we gone early on Isak? Matthew Knight says. Well, we'll talk about Isak in just a sec. Very, very quickly, do you feel like you've gone a bit early on Isak? Because you bought him in on Wildcard. You feel you've gone a bit early, or are you happy?
No, I'm happy.
You're happy?
Yeah.
Okay. No regrets there, Matthew. No regrets there
No
at
regrets.
the moment. Malachi Fox, thank you very much for the super chat. Hi, Sam and Lee. Hi, Malachi. Hope you're doing well. 66 points. Not bad at all, that, mate. Without triple captain Haaland. And I think that is the tale of the game week, isn't it? If you've got Haaland, you probably captained him. So you're in the sort of 50s and 60s, like Malachi is. And if you've triple captained, you're in the 70s and 80s, aren't you? That seems to be the sort of narrative of the game week. But with that Gabriel goal, got him up to 65k, Malachi. Very nice indeed. Very nice. Were you at all close to getting Gabriel on your wild card? Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
very close.
I was very close. Because, and I got Timber. And when I did the Raya to Pope move right at the end, I obviously have now, I had 0.7 in the bank, and I very, very nearly did do the Timber for Gabriel thing.
Yes.
And in the end, I just thought, I don't know, if it had left me with 5 in the bank, I'd have done it. But because it was going to leave me with 0.4, I was just like, there's a couple of player positions I'm not quite certain I've got right on Wildcard, and I wanted the flexibility of the 0.5.
Yeah, I think I did a couple of things. I did one, which was I've got two.
You had Gabriel until you were very upset.
I had him all week. And there's 2 things that stopped me getting him in the end. One was I wanted that flexibility to be able to choose my third Arsenal slot going into this good run. So I went in with Raya and with Gyökeres. I thought Gyökeres did all right today. We'll do that game in a minute. But I wanted to see Eze again. I wanted to see Saka. I wanted to, we know what we're getting from the defence. But I wanted to see those 2 in midfield, really.
Okay.
And then leave myself the flexibility to go and get whoever it is that I think is the right third pick from Arsenal.
Okay.
Now it's looking like Gabriel probably should have done it before. It is what it is. The other one was that I definitely got to... I've been seduced by the Defcons, haven't I?
Who's seducing you?
The defensive contributions have seduced me, Sam, on my wildcard. Because
I told you about that the other day. I said, don't be sucked in by defensive contributions.
When you have a look at my wildcard and how it's gone this week, there are some Defcons in there. I mean, Senesi is just an absolute monster, isn't he?
Yeah, but Senesi,
just a monster.
be seduced by Senesi because the man is seductive. If he doesn't get...
Pops up with an assist at the end. You're like,
I'm not being
Senesi,
funny. The man is just like a gift, isn't he? He turns up with goal. Like, he's got goal threat. He's getting some assists. The clean sheets are generally speaking been there as well. Oh, and just every week have a couple of Defcons. Why not?
Yeah, he's looking
I can
good.
understand you being seduced by him. Who else seduced you?
Well, I'm guessing Tarko's going to get defensive contributions again for me tomorrow night. So I have been seduced by the def gods. I think if that was a wild card in previous seasons, Gabriel's in. He's just in because he's a no rotation risk, set piece threat from corners. You know what you're going to get. But because he's not been getting the defcons, didn't get him, did I? I'm like faffing about with, who shall I have as my third? Just go and get him. Just when he got him, shouldn't I?
You're mad at Senesi.
I'm not mad at Senesi. Who says I'm mad at Senesi? I love Senesi.
The suggestion there was like the third. Oh, what? No, hang on. You don't mean the third defender. You mean the third Liverpool.
No, the third Arsenal.
The third Arsenal.
The third Arsenal, yeah. I got Raya, I got Gyökeres. I'm faffing about, giving myself flexibility and 2 free transfers. Just get Gabriel. Missed out on 13 points there. Devastating news. Devastating. John Tyner is in. Nice to see you, John. Nick Freeman is in. FPL Harry is here. Nice to see you, FPL Harry. Webby is here. John Robert Knight. JS. Nigel the Crab. Simon. And a whole host of you in tonight. So very nice to see you all. How many people we got, Sam? Let's have a quick check.
Well, everyone's going to be watching the golf, no?
Well, that is it. 546 people in. 546 people who presumably are not at all bothered about the golf.
I don't like golf.
We know, Sam. And I think the Europeans have got it in the bag. No,
I couldn't care.
You couldn't care. Okay, all we care about here, Sam, at FPL family,
it's not football, is it?
FPL. That is all we care about.
Ball's too small.
I've gone straight to the fixture ticker, which is completely the wrong screen to go to. There we go. Let's go to the games then, Sam. Let's start talking about the games. Where would you, Sam, like to start? I'm going to ask you where you'd like to start. And why is it Brentford 3, Man United 1? Would you like to start there? Let's get into that.
Sure. Can we talk about Bruno Fernandes?
One of my favourite tweets, and he tweets it all the time, it's got so many retweets, is Duncan Alexander, our friend Duncan Alexander, who we know quite well from a couple of seasons ago when he was getting involved with the FPL stuff.
Pod,
very, very nice man. And the tweet that he always puts out every single week is the goal of being in the Premier League. No, the Premier League every week has a crisis club. The goal is to never be it. And it feels like Manchester United are once again the Premier League crisis club.
Even West Ham aren't it this week.
I believe he is trying to get sacked, Ruben Amorim. Now, hold tight, Man United fans, and Chelsea. I've not left the Chelsea fans out here either. That's coming. But Manchester United, what the hell is going on? Like, Match of the Day did a brilliant piece of analysis. Micah Richards and whoever else was on there. Was it Danny Murphy? Don't know. Saturday night. And they were talking about every time that Amorim made a substitution, there was positional changes for at least 3 or 4 players. They didn't know what the hell they were doing, Manchester United. Now, bear in mind, if the Bruno penalty goes in, it's 2-2, maybe there's a different narrative. And I'm taking nothing away from Brentford, because that's 2 really nice goals from Thiago, particularly that first one, which was sensational. Jensen's was nice as well. But Manchester United, Sam, you didn't go for any Man United on your wildcard, and I assume this is why.
I said to you on Ohana, I do not trust them. And this is why. I don't trust them. I don't trust the performances. And I appreciate that I've got lucky because Bruno gets a penalty. That's the second penalty this year he's missed.
I'll tell you what, as a non-Bruno owner, you've never had Bruno all season.
No.
You have got away with one massive there, because he should be far and away the highest point scorer in FPL right now with those 2 penalties. That's like a 20-point swing.
Yeah, but he hasn't scored them. And I don't like where his position on the pitch is. I don't like where he's being played. I don't like the way that Manchester United are playing. I don't like how Amorim is managing the team. I don't like the feeling at the club. There's just nothing I like about Manchester United at the minute. And I'm really sorry, Man United fans. And I appreciate that that's really not very nice. But there isn't anything I like about them.
It have to be nice to Man United,
and that's why I didn't go for any on Wildcard. And I knew that was a risk because obviously Bruno is Bruno and he can easily pop up and get something. And Bomo is really good as well. So is Cunha. They've got some really, really good players in that team. But at the moment, Brentford were the better side and deserve to win this game. And that's been the narrative for a few weeks now with the opposition that they face. They have been the better side. Now, whether he's trying to get sacked, who knows? But I still hold firm. They've got Sunderland next. Sunderland, the only team keeping a clean sheet this week.
Well, let's have a look at the Manchester United fixtures then, and tell me, if you were a Bruno owner, would you hold him through this? Sunderland at home, Liverpool away, Brighton at home, and then what looks like, that's difficult to read, Forest away, and then Spurs away. That is looking difficult. And the bluest fixture there on the Fantasy Football Scout fixture ticker is next week, game week 7, Sunderland at home. Let me tell you, that is not an easy game.
Do you remember 2 weeks ago on Ohana, we had a conversation about Manchester United, and I said they'll get 2 points in the next 6 weeks.
You did, yes.
Because I don't like the fixtures. The fixtures on paper look better than they are. The teams that they have to play against are difficult. Brentford at home is not an easy game because they have improved significantly in the last couple of weeks. Sunderland is not an easy fixture. Defensively, they are solid, they are robust, and they are difficult. Brighton, we'll talk about them later.
Playing very well.
They've already beaten Chelsea and Man City so far this season. They're performing well. The fixtures aren't great. I genuinely...
You missed out a trip to Anfield in game week 8.
Oh, well, that's the easier one. No, I'm joking. But genuinely, I look at those fixtures and I actually gave them a point. And one of the 2 points I gave them was against Brentford. So actually now I'm basically saying I think they get 1 point over the course of the rest of this period.
I can't bring myself to sell Bruno Fernandes ahead of Sunderland at home. I just can't do it.
What's it going to take to sell him?
Well, a blank against Sunderland. Because then you got Liverpool, Brighton, Forest and Spurs.
Even if he scores
Difficult
against
games.
Sunderland, will you still sell him?
Well, I don't know. I'll have another week's worth of information then. But I still maintain that if he scores them 2 penalties, no one's thinking of selling him. And I hear you. He's in not the right positions that we want. He's in CDM and all this. The best thing can happen is Amorim gets fired.
Is
and
he
some
even
manager...
on pens now?
Well, that's a good question.
Is he
There's a
even
lot of people
taking
saying that Mbeumo should
They've
take
got
him.
Cunha who takes penalties. They've got Mbeumo who takes penalties.
It's possible.
I'm just saying,
Possible.
he's missed 2.
Simon saying I'd rather have Lee in my team. I don't think you would, mate.
God,
I don't think you would.
wouldn't. You really wouldn't.
George is saying United for relegation. Listen,
George, stop winding everyone up, George.
I don't think it's
The
going to get...
Slack community with George and the Man United fans this weekend, because George is Brentford.
I don't think it's that bad. And I maintain, George, if that Bruno penalty goes in, the momentum of the game is different. It's different. And maybe it's different. But what was interesting for me is that even at 2-1 with sort of 4 or 5 minutes left, it felt like United gave up a little bit. It felt like they gave up a little bit. And I don't know whether that was because they just had so many changes and none of them knew where they were supposed to be playing because Amorim was swapping it around so much. There's just something not right there at all. But take nothing away from Brentford. Thiago's run for the first goal.
It's beautiful.
Where he sort of arcs it and just about stays onside, doesn't he, level with Maguire. Because when the ball comes over from Hendo, notice that's another assist for Hendo.
Oh, God, here we go.
And another pen save for Kelleher. Liverpool B team doing absolute bits against Manchester
You can't
United. Love
call
to see
Brentford
it.
the
You
Liverpool
love to-
B team.
Of course I can. Absolutely I can. Liverpool B doing brilliant stuff. But yeah, when the ball comes over from Hendo, you're like, Thiago's miles off. He's absolutely miles off. And then you have a look at it and it's like, no, he's arced his one perfectly.
You
Very
needed to see
good.
the first still today wasn't off. The back leg of the defenders he played.
No, but as you're watching it, the
I
camera
said it
pans
was
over
on.
Thiago and he's miles away from Maguire. You're like, well, he must be offside.
It's just Maguire being slow and old.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not going to argue with that. Brentford, any interest? I mean, Thiago's putting his hand up now, isn't he?
Yeah, where's he going in that front line, though? Because there's a problem. Only having 3 forwards. All season it's been kind of like, well, Watkins is crap and this one's rubbish and that one's rubbish and no one's doing very good. And obviously Haaland, but it's hard to get him because you want to keep Salah. There's been all that narrative. The 3 forward slots have actually been quite tough. Now, there's about 5 forwards.
Yeah, and the challenge with Brentford, of course, is it's City next, West Ham away, and goodness knows what sort of West Ham you're going to get there. Liverpool, Palace away, Newcastle. They are bottom right now. Brentford over the next 5 on the Fantasy Football Scout fixture ticker. So you're just not investing, are you? Are you not? I've done it again. There we go. That one.
You're right today.
Just keep flipping about. I don't know where I'm at. I keep making substitutions all the time and moving all my players around. I'm a bit Ruben Amorim tonight. So Brentford 3, Manchester United 1. Well done, Brentford, but we are not investing. We've got to save the Chelsea thing. Let's go to.
Why are we going to have a go at Chelsea?
Well, I can't just go from having a go at Man United to having a go at Chelsea, can I? So let's have a go at my own team instead. Palace 2, Liverpool 1. I'm going to say what I always say. I have some thoughts. What are your thoughts?
No, go on. I'd really like to hear your thoughts.
You'd love to hear my thoughts.
Shall I tell the little story about before you give your thoughts?
Kingdom FC is in the chat, by the way. Hello, Kingdom FC. My turn now, Lee. Mate, it's coming. Don't worry. It's coming.
It's coming, Kingdom. Yeah, it's coming because he's been going on about Chelsea all day. So be ready. It's coming.
Another red.
So yesterday we were watching Soccer Saturday and we were waiting for my mum to come pick me up so we could go to Spurs and Liverpool score Lee goes a bit mental. The kids are like, what's happened?
I've gone actually crazy because they're the best goals where you just don't deserve it at all.
Yeah.
Like, at all. And I'm like, we're getting a draw out of this really hard game where we don't deserve to get anything. We've nicked a draw. Brilliant. And then what happened?
And he goes absolutely mental. Anyway, at that point, he calms down for a little bit. My mum arrives and she's telling him a story. And she's standing there talking to him. And it's quite a serious conversation. And the goal goes in. And Lee's just there. And I'm literally almost crying in the kitchen listening to him try and have a sensible conversation with my mum. Where I know all he wants to do is go absolutely apoplectic about the fact that you've just conceded.
I'm having a conversation with Debbie. I'm like, yeah, Debbie. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace score. You're right, Debbie. You're right. In my head, all I want to go is, fuck. I'm like, oh my God, 2-1 in the last minute.
It was
prick.
honestly.
I'm trying to hold a conversation and try not to like burst into tears.
It was honestly hilarious. And then my mum goes, oh, have you scored?
Oh, have
Palace scored?
I'm like, yes. God. Have Palace scored?
And then I was like,
no shit.
Should we go, mum? So we leave. Honestly, it was so funny. If you honestly,
and literally, like a minute later, you left with her to go to Spurs, didn't you? And I was just sitting there
I
going,
was like, let's leave.
What the? I was just sitting there going, can't believe what's just happened.
You just like, and the thing is that I'm trying to also at the same time, then I'm trying to tell you about the dinner that I'm leaving for you to put on for the kids.
Oh, I don't
and
give a
you've got
shit about the dinner.
Interest.
I did not give a toss about that dinner. You could have told me anything, and I was seething.
Yeah.
Absolutely
ruined my
seething.
baking pans by cutting the pizza on them, so now they're all scratched. All the non-stick's not working.
Not interested.
I am, because I got to buy new ones.
Not
Outrageous.
interested. Anyway,
Give us your thoughts.
If you're not going to give us some thoughts, I will give our
No,
thoughts.
I'll give thoughts in a minute, but I want to hear yours first.
Thoughts. Thoughts. So, first things first, credit where credit's due. We were well beaten. Don't get me wrong here, right? If that Chiesa goal was the equalising goal and we'd got a point, it would have been daylight robbery, particularly in that first half, right? In that first half, were it not for Alisson, they could have been outside. It could have been 3 or 4 easily. Now, bear in mind, this is a 3 o'clock kickoff in the UK, which we don't get to watch. So I'm just kind of like trying to follow it on Twitter and other places and on Gillette Soccer Saturday on like Sky Sports News. But obviously did watch match the day after in the evening, and I have watched some highlights online. They battered us. Like, Alisson has pulled off a worldie from Munoz. Mateta has like hit the post like with another great shot, right? So easily could have been outside by half time, but nevertheless we do what we do. I think he got it wrong in the first half. Like, when I saw that lineup and I saw Wirtz out left and I saw McAllister and Szoboszlai in the middle and Gakpo benched, I'm like, there's no balance there whatsoever. There's like no balance because Wirtz. So here's I'm not getting the ump with Wirtz, but I'm starting to. He's got to get used to us, and we've got to get used to him. Right? It's going to take time. He's going to be a brilliant player. Don't get me wrong. He's already shown flashes of that. But what he does in that system does not suit the system currently. So whether the system's got to change or he's got to change, right? And I still maintain that when he plays where he wants to play in that kind of left 10, and Isak plays, it'll be all right. But he didn't do that this weekend. He put Wirtz out left and he played Isak, and instead he played Maka and Szoboszlai in the middle. So I don't know what's going on there, but Wirtz playing left wing doesn't make sense because he's just drifting in all the time. He drifts. He wants to be central. He drifts all the time. He's the least disciplined left winger I've ever seen in my life. He just drifts. Now, if you play Gakpo there, Gakpo don't want to play there. You've seen that in the first few weeks, right? Gakpo does not want to play wide left. He likes to cut inside on that right foot as well. But because of the system, because he's been there for a few years, because he's doing as he's told, he stays right. He stays left. He stays wide. And it keeps the space in the middle for the 2 in the 3 in midfield. But Wirtz didn't do that at all. He did not stay wide. And whether this was part of the plan or not, I don't know. But it didn't work in the first half. It was a shambles. And of course, he's kind of drifting into central areas where McAllister and Szoboszlai are already. Isak's kind of getting the ump because he's getting no service. So even he's kind of dropping in a little bit. All of a sudden, you've got the same problem that I discussed in the last 2 weeks, where all these players are dropping into the same area. That is our problem. It's so easy to play against us at the moment because they're all playing in the same square foot of pitch. It's ridiculous. Now, I do think that we will sort this out. I can't believe that this is not a good enough team that will sort this out. there are others that are struggling as well, right? Kirkes is struggling a bit, right? That one at the end, why he's not just putting his right foot through it rather than sort of swiveling his body and like left footing it out for the throw that eventually then leads to the goal. What are you doing, Kirkes? Just get rid. Do you know what I mean? So he's sort of, I wonder whether he needed to be eased in a little bit. And I do think maybe now is the time to get Robbo in the team for a bit. I do think that. Frimpong, I don't know. I mean, you heard Slot's comments afterwards, right? About the goal, the winning goal for Palace. He's come out and he said, well, what did he say? One of our players decided that it was just, he didn't want to push out at that stage. He wanted to play defensive or something. And he's like, what are you talking about, Frimpong? So what's Slot done there? He's like called out Frimpong as the reason we've lost that game. So Conor Bradley's pretty locked, I think, at right back for a while. So I don't know. I'm not... Listen, what did I think? Were we going to go through the whole season winning every game? No. But what I will say is that result was overdue. We've been getting away with it for weeks, as you know, right? I come on here every Sunday and I'm all happy because we've got another last-minute winner. The last 4 or 5 weeks could have been very different. Very different for Liverpool. Been overdue, that defeat, and we were well beaten. So now, can we react? Can we respond? I don't know. Anyway, that's my rant about Liverpool. Liverpool assets on your wildcard, though. I didn't go in with any. You've got Isak.
Yeah.
You said before that you didn't feel like you've gone too early. You feel okay with him. Now, he was in the top 10 XG underachievers this week with 0.43, according to the Fantasy Football Scout members area. So he did get some XG, but he's still got a bit of time to settle in, isn't he?
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting Isak to go today and score 7. Do you know? Like,
No.
I was expecting... I knew I was going early in terms of the rest of the crowd, but I wanted to go early because and I do think it's a when he kicks off, I want to be there already. And I do genuinely think like he played a significant chunk, more than I was expecting. I got out of him this week.
Well, he sort of had to, I think.
Yeah. But given Slot's comments in the presser before the game week, about 60 to 70 minutes he was suggesting.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, well, if I get 70 minutes out of him, I think I'll be fairly content with that. So to get more than that, I was like, well, okay, this is all right. I do now think, obviously, Ekitike... I still stick by the narrative that I've been purporting all week, which is that Ekitike now goes and starts in the Champions League and then Isak will get the start again in game week 7. So I'm happy with that from a FPL perspective.
Yeah.
The underlying numbers were there. Maybe he's a bit unlucky not to get something. I think Liverpool learn a lot from the performance against Palace. You won't come up against many teams that play like Palace did against you. And so, yeah, I'm happy sticking with my boy Isak, particularly given the catastrophes that were going on at Chelsea this week, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah, so I think despite all that Liverpool chat, I don't feel as if I want to invest in Liverpool now. Now, we've got Chelsea away next, and we will talk about Chelsea in a second. They've got no defenders, so I think you happily stay with Isak. If for whatever reason you've got Salah, well, what do you think now?
If you've got Salah and no Haaland, I think you still have to swap.
You've got to swap, haven't you? You've got just get it done. Just get it done. I mean, it's going to Stamford Bridge is never an easy game, right? But when they've got no Chalobah, who I think is key for them, I think Chalobah's such a key defender for them. So when he got sent off at the weekend, I was like, that's a result that he's not playing against us. Then we got United at home. Then it's Brentford away, Villa and Man City. It's hard to look at those fixtures and go, I definitely want in on Liverpool. You know, particularly when you look at it and you go, well, Kirkes has got issues. His Slot's against Frimpong for whatever reason, or he's called him out. You know, Wirtz has had a difficult start. Isak's still getting up to speed. Ekitike probably looks the best bet, but who knows with his minutes. Gakpo's then benched. But
those are the fixtures that if you want to be champions, you have to get something out of.
Oh, don't get me wrong, but in FPL, yeah, we're not picking them, are we? I don't think so.
I'm happy to stick with Isak,
All
but
right.
I wouldn't have anyone else right now.
Okay. All right, so that's that. But let's not overlook the fact that Crystal Palace were very, very good indeed. What I particularly liked, I thought Jean-Philippe Mateta was brilliant in this game.
Oh, he is brilliant.
He is such a good player. Like, he attached himself to Van Dijk, right?
Oh.
And the two of them, it was like an unstoppable force against an immovable object. Watching them two have a battle was brilliant. But what Mateta did so well was that he attached himself to Virgil and kept dropping in. A bit like Kane-esque, right? And Virgil kind of went with him.
Hang on.
No, you know what I mean? Like Kane drops in, he'd like to drop in a bit, didn't he? And Mateta did exactly that. But Virgil went with him. Now, what that meant was that Mateta then freed up space in and around Konate for Sarr. And Sarr against Konate was one of the mismatches of the season. I don't know what's up with Konate, but Christ almighty, can we sign Gay pretty quickly, right? So Sarr, I thought, coming back into that side after a couple of weeks out, he just settled straight in. He was fantastic. But he was made to be fantastic by no FPL points for Mateta, I don't think.
No.
This game week.
Very unlucky.
But I noticed he was top for XG underachievers with 0.92. So he definitely had the chances, and he had that one off the upright, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
But I tell you what, if you've got FPL points for unselfish team play, bringing others into it, my God, he'd have got loads of points because he was absolutely fantastic. Munoz as well, like I said before, good save from Alisson. He could have had some points as well. On my wildcard, I decided to go with Gahey. I benched him this week because I did think we'd score. I didn't think that he'd pick up... I thought he could pick up defensive contributions. I didn't expect him to pick up an assist, did I? But going forward now, I'm reasonably happy to have him. That's now back-to-back defensive contributions for Gahey. Not that the rest of Crystal Palace defence are bad for defensive contributions because they're getting them as well. But now a couple of assists and a goal for Gahey. Back-to-back DEFCONs. Looking like an alright pick, no?
Yeah, I went without any Palace on Wildcard, which I didn't love because I was going into Wildcard. I had two. I had Munoz and I had Mateta. Gay, just felt if he'd still been 4.5, I would have gone there, I think.
Right.
But at 4.7, I was a little bit like that. Leaves me with nothing in the bank. I don't love the fixtures, not for clean sheets anyway. And I appreciate that we're not always talking about clean sheets with the likes of Munoz and with Gahey, to be fair. But Gahey's underlying numbers in terms of attacking threat are massively...
You don't get him for the attacking threat, do you?
No, and his underlying numbers for attacking threat are, in terms of what he's got and then what he normally gets, he's massively overperforming, which... It screams unsustainable to me over the course of the season because the stuff that he's been getting...
know, that's 18
attacking,
without a defeat
in
for
attacking.
Palace.
I'm not talking about Palace. I'm talking about Mateta's... I'm talking about Gahey's attacking threat.
Right.
The assists and the goals that he's had so far, he's massively overperforming on those attacking numbers. I don't think that is sustainable over the course of the season, which is why I didn't go there, because I look at the fixtures and I do think that they concede goals. I don't necessarily think that they lose a lot of games, but I do think they concede goals, which is why I went without.
All right.
It's at Everton, I think, next, isn't it?
It is Everton,
and Everton, they are scoring goals.
Palace are doing very, very well, though, aren't they?
They are.
Now the only unbeaten team in the Premier League.
Are.
Up into, what, second or third in the league? No defeat in 18 in all competitions?
I don't think they're second or third in the league.
Look it up. I bet they are.
I don't think they
I bet they are. They're right up there. They're in the top
Liverpool,
four.
Arsenal, Spurs and Sunderland?
Don't know. I think Palace are definitely up there. The chat will tell us, I'm sure. They were definitely second before the Arsenal game. Arsenal probably overtaken them now, but they were definitely
Liverpool,
up there.
Arsenal. Oh yeah, you're right. Palace
third. Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I will say about Palace is I think it's Glasner's last year in his contract, isn't it? They need to get that tied up. Yeah, they got to get that tied up.
What are they doing?
Well, you know what'll happen, won't you? Amorim will leave. United will poach him. He'll go over to United, and then he'll be on the scrap heap again in a couple of years.
They got to sort that out quick, sharp. Why have you gone back there
I don't know. I keep picking the wrong one. So that's Palace 2, Liverpool 1. Yeah, just... I'm not panicking, right? I'm backing... Obviously, we're a good side. Obviously, we've got good players. We will get it right. But it needs time. It really does need time. A team that didn't need any time at the weekend were Manchester City. 5-1 against Burnley. Haaland obviously gets the headlines, definitely from an FPL perspective. But what about the supporting cast? There were a few that went for Foden on Wildcard. I, for one, was definitely thinking about it.
You're bang unlucky.
In the end, I went with Reinders. And actually, it was Doku was probably the one to go for, who looked... Honestly, that's probably one of the best games I've seen Doku play.
I agree.
I wonder whether it's just starting to click for Doku. I don't know, but he's started the season very, very well indeed. What do you make of this game?
Well, the one thing I will say is that it was a different formation as soon as Rodri's not picked. As soon as Rodri's not there, you're like, Reinders, wrong pick.
Yeah, sat a bit deeper, didn't
he? Yeah. And I think as a result of him sitting a bit deeper, it allowed the likes of Doku and to be a bit more attacking, maybe even than normal. So... I think, a bit of an unfortunate circumstance for Reinders not having Rodri there, but I think heading forwards, I still think he's a decent pick. And
Reinders is still okay.
If you went for a Foden on your wild card, then I also think you've been a bit bang unlucky, to be honest, as well, because there were a couple of moments where he could and probably should have got something. The own goal, is it the first the Stev own goal thing, or is it the second? I can't remember.
What, the Foden was involved
when
in?
Foden's
first one.
Yeah, when
First
Foden's around it, and you kind of think he's only got to be less than a second further, and and it's his goal rather than an own goal, and yeah, there's plenty of opportunities, I think, for Foden in this one.
I hope no one played Stev this week, by the way. What's that? That's got to be a minus something, isn't it?
Well, he's conceded 5.
Did he get some DEFCONs? I think he did get defensive contributions, so he got a few.
Well, I would hope he would get some DEFCON if he's conceded 5. That suggests that Manchester City were very, very attacking. But
All right, so who would you have then? Or who have you got? You've got Haaland, you've got Reinders. Would you add to that, or are you happy?
Well, I very, very nearly went for O'Reilly as a cheap third way in. I don't know. There's something about the Man City defence that I just don't quite trust, and I was a little bit unsure about when Ray and Aït-Nouri's going to come back, because we haven't really been told much about him so far, and Gvardiola's there, and I'm not really sure about him, and then Donnarumma was an option, but I wasn't really sure about him. So in the end, I just went with the 2, and I thought, well, that probably feels like enough, given that this, I think, is the best fixture. Like, this fixture, in the run that they have coming up, felt like the best of a really nice run, but this one felt like the best of them.
Totally. And from game week 7 onwards, it's Brentford away, Everton at home, Villa away, Bournemouth at home, and then Liverpool at home. So, 3 home games in the next 5, and even the away games, Brentford and Villa. I think you'd back them. So they're second bottom on the Fantasy Football Scout ticker for the next 5, Man City, but I'm reasonably happy to have them too. Yeah, it is. I'm reasonably happy to own them, and I don't think I'm going to go any more. I think I'm just going to stick with those 2 for now. But listen, Haaland looks the one to have, doesn't he? He absolutely looks the one to have. Jadon Anthony, talk to me.
Well, he's a player that no one will have, probably 100%. All season. But yeah, here he is again, popping up with another one. Like, he's a nice...
What a start to the season he's had.
A nice cheap option as well. Like, if you're looking for a cheapie, he's a decent option. So, I think the reality is, though, Burnley look a little bit in the mud, don't they? Like that, they
defensively,
look like...
yeah. But if he pops up and scores, the 1 in a 5-1 route, and you've got him, that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, but the reality is, if you've got him, the chances are you're not going to play him. He's going to end up on your bench every week. So... You just got to make sure...
not playing him at Man City, are you? Potentially this week, for example.
No, exactly. So...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move it on then to... Let's go away from Man City. Let's talk about your team then. Let's talk about Spurs 1, Wolves 1. You were at the stadium. Tell us what you made of this game, or what was the atmosphere like in the stadium?
Do you know what? The first half we were great. We just weren't clinical. We played really well. We created a lot of chances. Kudus had one off the bar. Then he had one that was offside that we celebrated as if it had gone in, because I was behind it, so I couldn't see it.
The Kudus one.
The Kudus one. So he could have had a brace in the first half. He was excellent in the first half. Everything that was good was going down his side. It was going down the right.
Did he hit the bar as well?
He hit the bar, yeah. Are you listening?
Oh, sorry, no. I wasn't.
Didn't think you were listening. So yeah, he's hit the bar. He's had one off for offside. Everything that was good about Spurs was going down his side. Richarlison was busy, but not... It was him not being clinical, I think, that was part of the issue in this, because we were creating plenty of chances, but they weren't really getting anywhere. Defensively, we were okay. I thought we missed Porro down that side with Kudus. I didn't think it worked quite as well with Spence down that side, as it has done with Porro there during the course of the season. But equally, I think Porro did need a rest, given he played the League Cup as well.
Do you not think one of the things I thought when I was watching it was the fact that he had an actual proper defender behind him, Kudus, meant that he didn't have... I don't think he felt obliged to do as much defending, and it sort of freed him up to attack a bit more. Because Porro, we know what he's like. He can get forward, and Kudus has kind of got to always have his wits about, where's he? Oh, he's going off again. Maybe I'll just hang on back. But
maybe I kind of feel
it freed him up a little bit. No,
I don't know. Maybe I kind of feel like his relationship with Porro is really quite strong down that side, and I thought there was a little bit of a lack of trust with him and Spence.
All right.
I thought it was interesting the way that he set up top, because obviously we didn't have Pape Sarr starting the game, and we really missed him. We really, really missed Pape Sarr. So in the end, he started with Xavi and Richarlison and Kudus. But Xavi was out left, Kudus was out right, and it was working, but we weren't clinical, we weren't finishing.
Okay.
In the second half, they obviously scored, and then we just were all over the place for a long time. And he tried to change it up. And I think Frank was doing the right thing by what he was doing, because he tried to move Xavi into the 10. And Xavi just got lost in the game when he got put in the 10, because he moved Kudus from the right to the left, which made him completely ineffective going on the left. And Brennan was useless on the right. And I was like, just swap him over. Swap him back over, because the right was working. So why have we killed both sides here? And because there wasn't any pace then down those sides, we lost it. Xavi was just completely out of the game. So,
what did you make of him? My wildcard was pretty template, to be honest with you. We'll see it in a bit, except for Gabriel. But the one bit of fun that I was looking to have in my midfield was Xavi Simons. I went with Xavi Simons, and you know, without putting too fine a point on it, this game week 6, home to Wolves, I was looking for something from him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What did you make? I'll tell you what I thought of him, because, you know, it's weird, isn't it? When you've got a player in your FPL team, you watch them maniacally, don't you, on TV?
Yeah.
Like, any other game, I'd just be watching Spurs versus Wolves, but because I've got Simons and he's a little bit of a differential, well, big differential for me in FPL, I watched him really closely. But what did you think?
Well, the left isn't our best side. When we're attacking, we like to go down the right.
Yeah.
So that already puts Xavi at a disadvantage, which is part of the reason I start with Kudus, because the right-hand side is our preferred attack method down that side.
He's got problems on that left, doesn't he? He doesn't know, and Xavi's not the answer, I don't think.
And I think he knows Xavi's not the answer, is why I wanted to put Xavi in the 10, because it really, that
That's where he's got to
side,
be.
the left-hand side against Wolves was completely ineffective, because Doggy's not that attacking either. So when Spence is on that side...
You turned your mic off, people are saying.
No.
Has it come unplugged?
No. Lights are on.
No?
Everything's working.
All right. Keep going then, hopefully it's fixed.
Nothing's wrong. So yeah, the left-hand side was a problem. And then when he moved him into the 10, the problem was he made the wings ineffective. So whatever Xavi was trying to do in a very congested, and Wolves, to their credit, once they went ahead, defended very well, and they sat in on it and they held it well. So it then rendered Xavi a bit hopeless in that position. It was only when Papsar came on and we strengthened the midfield and we lost Bentancur, he went off, and that weakened us as well. So, I don't know, it was a really frustrating game to watch. From an FPL perspective, I think if I had Xavi, I'd hold him for Leeds, because I actually think we might get some more joy against that Leeds side, because I'd expect Papsar to be back in the team for that one as well.
Well, who plays... So, I don't disagree with you, but I want... If I'm going to hold Xavi Simons, I want him in the 10, right? I totally agree with you. He was ineffective on the left. He was out there, and he just was not in the game. And actually, whenever Spurs attacked, I'm looking for him, right? You know, every time Richarlison gets the ball or Kudus gets in behind, I'm like, right, where's Simons? Because I want him in the penalty area scoring goals. You're not even in the camera frame.
No.
So I'm like, I don't want this guy. So left wing is definitely not his best position. I think he's doing a job there because you haven't got any better options. So what are we going to see in the Leeds game? Who's going to play left? Because if it's Xavi Simons again, I don't want him.
It'll be Xavi.
Well, I'll sell him then. Because in the 10, he was okay. Like you, I thought the game passed him by a bit in the 10. Because by the time he moved there, I thought he was off the pace. He's off the pace. And the one thing you'd say about some of your fixtures coming up, and I've said this before about Simons, is that I do worry about him in the more physical games. I think Leeds is going to be a physical game. So, I don't know. I was hoping for him to show us something here. Now, is it a bit knee-jerk to immediately transfer him out? Yes, of course it is. But if he's going to play left, if Frank's going to put him on the left, that is a massive waste of his talents, and it's a massive waste of money in FPL.
I think he will play left, because I think we really miss Pap, and so I think he'll bring Pap back in and put him in the 10, which means I do think Xavi will go left again.
Yeah.
But we also have Champions League action in midweek, so let's see what happens in the midweek fixture, and before we make a decision on that.
Yeah, your microphone's turned off again. So do you want to just unplug it and plug it back in again? See if we get a better result from that. Hold the line, callers. Hold the line, callers.
I literally haven't touched it, as you've seen.
There we go. Right, let me just have a look at the buttons on the top. You've got all the buttons on, haven't you? The lights are on.
Yes, Lee, I'm not an idiot.
The lights are on. Good, okay. Excellent. All right, it's back, people are saying. Right, so yes, I'm looking to sell him. But in the meantime, I thought Kudus was great. He was the one of all of them that looked the most threatening in that Spurs attack. No doubt about it. Richarlison was off it. don't know what's up with him, and I suspect when Solanke
He's
comes
just
back,
played too many minutes. Richarlison
I just started the season.
Yeah, but I think remember that Richarlison hasn't been fully fit himself for a while, and then he's been asked to come back in and play every minute of every game pretty much because we haven't had anyone to replace him because Tell's not good enough and Odebert's not good enough. And so the only person that can really replace him is Solanke, who hasn't been fit. So until Solanke is fit, Richarlison has been asked to do a lot.
All right. Okay, but certainly the one that caught my eye was Kudus. He was the one that caught my eye, not Xavi Simons. Let's talk about Newcastle 1, Arsenal 2 from today then. So your man Walter Made gets another goal, another header. But it's Gabriel, it's Moreno, it's them two that get the headers at the other end that win Arsenal the game, particularly that one from Gabriel right in the 95th, 96th minute. What did you make of this game? And first of all, I'd like to get your thoughts. I don't want to go on a massive VAR rant, but what was that? The penalty on Gyökeres, the foul by Pope? What were your emotions going through your head during that? Because you own Nick Pope in FPL. And there was a chance he was going to get sent off. He went from sent off and a penalty to...
It was the weirdest...
He's on the pitch and no pen.
Honestly, it was the weirdest, 3 or 4 minutes of the game week. Because I'm watching it and I'm like, that's a penalty. That's a clear as day a penalty. And then I'm watching it a bit more as they keep slowing it. And I'm like, oh, God, he's going to be in trouble here. And I've brought him in. And I'm going to have to play... I'm going to have to make a goalkeeper transfer. Or I've got to play Dubravka. So these are the thought processes going through my head. Then it goes to VAR and I'm thinking, oh, Christ, they're going to send him off. Then as he's walking to the screen, the commentator said, the VAR is for, is it a foul? And I thought, hang on a minute.
Is it even a penalty?
It's not even going to...
Yeah.
I thought he's getting sent off. It's not even going to be a penalty here at this point.
I think that is a clear penalty, by the way.
Well, I thought it was a penalty.
Clear penalty.
I do feel like I got away with one massively. So then when he was on for a 10-point... Well, I think it was 11 points at one point because he was getting 6 points for the clean sheet. He had a couple of save points. He was getting 3 bonus points. And I was thinking, right, well, this is the dream. This is the dream.
Yeah.
Arsenal are going to lose the game. Brilliant.
Differential because no one else has picked Newcastle defence this week.
I've gone Nick Pope. This is great. Big green arrow. I'm going to be winning FPL again. I mean, I didn't think that. But I was like, I'll be in the top 500 million. 5 million. Great. And then it all went wrong at the end. But I definitely thought it was a penalty. And I must admit, I think they got it wrong.
I think it's definitely a penalty. And the fact that Pope gets a little touch on the ball, I'm not having it, to be honest with you. There was the exact same thing last week, wasn't it, in the Man United game with Sanchez, right? Sanchez gets a touch on the ball and then takes him Mbeumo out at the knee. Red card. Same with Pope. Even if he gets a little touch, he still then takes Gyökeres out. I think it's a penalty, no doubt about it. And as a Liverpool fan, not wanting Arsenal to win that game, because I think they are clearly, head and shoulders, going to be our clearest rivals for the title this season, I still thought it was a penalty, without any bias whatsoever. Anyway... What did you make of Gyökeres and Eze and Saka? Because as we've been saying for a few weeks now, it is game week 7 where the Arsenal fixtures get absolutely delicious. Listen to this over the next 5. West Ham at home, Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home, Burnley away, Sunderland away. Now, listen, a lot of those teams are doing pretty well. Unexpectedly well. Like Palace being in the Champions League positions, West Ham with a bit of new manager bounce potentially, Sunderland doing quite well, but still, Arsenal are top of the ticker for the next 5, according to Fantasy Football Scout. So I've gone for Raya and I've gone for Gyökeres. There was nothing about the Gyökeres performance today that put me off buying him, so I'm pretty pleased to have him. But the third one, you've got Saka already. What did you make of Eze in the 10 today?
Oh, I liked Eze today.
Yeah, me too.
I liked Eze today. I got Saka. I really liked Eze. I was watching him and I was like, oh. And that's part of the reason why I decided to go Pope over Raya. Because I didn't want to be tripled up on Arsenal and then be like, oh, I've got to make a goalkeeper swap because Eze or Gyökeres or whoever it is.
Oh, so same as me. You were looking to get that bit of flexibility over your third Arsenal.
I just knew that at some point I'd want them, and I didn't want 3 Arsenal, 4 Newcastle, because actually I didn't think they'd win the game, if I'm honest.
Right.
I thought this game might be 0-0. So I thought, well, a best thing to do here is to not go too heavily on Arsenal. Let's give me 1 more week, plus Champions League in midweek, to watch how Arteta sets up, to watch what he does with the Eze versus Martinelli versus Trossard conundrum, that he's got going on down that side. Let's watch and see whether I've made a mistake. Because I really wanted to go for Isak. And so I wanted to give myself the opportunity to watch Gyökeres because I didn't have another spot for him. So all of that stuff felt an important watch and see. I really liked Isak today. Eze today. I really liked him. And I was really impressed. I am kind of intrigued as to whether he gets to start in the Champions League because...
Well, Ødegaard's coming back from that injury, isn't he? So surely it's Rice and Ødegaard, isn't it, with Zubimendi behind? I mean, Eze goes back out to the left and is therefore rotation risk again. I don't...
And this is where the problem I have with him is.
This is the conundrum, isn't it? It's just like when he plays in that 10 like he did today, there was one where he hit an absolute belter, didn't he? And Pope did really, really well to save it. And I think he had a chance early on as well, Eze. So I was super impressed with him in that 10. But in my head, I'm like, well, he's not going to not play Ødegaard, is he?
No.
And then, all right, we stick Eze left, where potentially he's a bit less of an FPL asset out left than he is centrally.
Yep.
I think that's unquestionable. And you've got the Trossard and Martinelli factor. Now, I do think his versatility, Eze, will mean that he gets more game time than we are potentially worried about. I think Arteta will find a way to get Eze in the team, I think. But there's just that niggle in the back of your head that, he will miss the odd game, won't he, because of rotation. It's kind of bound to happen.
Or come on for 1 point cameos.
Yeah.
And then it'll be frustrating. Yeah, I agree. I went for Saka. I saw enough from Saka today to make me happy that I've gone back there.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Off on 60-odd minutes, so he's just getting his way back to fitness, isn't he? But he looked all right.
That's fine. There were plenty of opportunities in that game. Some nice set pieces taken from him. Couple of good moments. And I thought with fully match fit Saka, they probably... And not against such a good defence, Saka gets something in that one. So I'm happy to persist with Saka for sure over the next few weeks. I'm pleased I went there.
Yeah, all right. And from a Newcastle perspective, they've got the potential to do this, Newcastle, haven't they? They obviously conceded in the last minute against us as well, at home.
Also, they lost Livramento, Lee, and I do think that's important.
No, it's not that important.
It is
it just
important.
doesn't affect their shape, does it? I mean, from what I was going to say about them was, they've got a bit of a track record so far this season of like stinking up games. And what I mean by that was that first half was cracker, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really
cracker
good.
of a first half. And they go in 1-0 up, and you're like, okay, Arsenal, what are you going to do? And I'm thinking, if it's as open as it was in that first half, if it's as good a game, I think Arsenal's quality will eventually shine through. And it did, in a way that we kind of weren't expecting set pieces, wasn't it? But for the first sort of half an hour of that second half, or at least the first 25 minutes, Newcastle made it a really crappy game. They made it a really crappy game, a bitty game. And they've done that before. They've done it a little bit against us. They've done it a little bit against Leeds, I think it was. They really can do that to a game. They can kill it off and make it a crap game. And fair play to Arsenal. They didn't let it become crap, and they turned the screw, and he made the substitutions. He changed the system, and they got 2 set-piece goals. So fair dues. And that's why it's such a good result for Arsenal, I think It's an unbelievably good result. To be 1-0 down against a team that knows how to kill a game at home, and to come away 2-1 is a brilliant, brilliant result for Arsenal. I don't know. Let's have a look at their fixtures. Will we be considering Waldcards or any of those guys? Let's have a look. Newcastle, Forest at home, Brighton away, Fulham, West Ham, Brentford. It's not terrible, is it?
No, the fixtures are really good. That's why I've got Nick Pope in goal, because they've got plenty of potential for clean sheets. I think what you said is entirely wrong, though. I think the loss of Livramento is absolutely flipping massive. I think that is...
Why is it massive?
I think it's going to be really, really difficult for them without Livramento. He's one of their key defensive assets. And one of the reasons why Newcastle have been so good this season is because they've been defensively really solid. They haven't been good in attack, and defensively they've been solid. And I think without Livramento, as soon as I saw him go off on that stretcher, I was like, that's a problem for Nick Pope. I'm not happy about having Nick Pope now because he's lost Livramento.
Okay. I don't think Livramento's that key to them defensively, is he? Or is he?
I do. I think he's really important. I mean, Lascelles comes on, and obviously Lascelles is coming back from a major injury himself, but I think Livramento is their best defender, and I think it's really problematic to not have him for the next few weeks, if that's how long he's out for.
Okay, all right. That's Newcastle 1, Arsenal 2. Anything else we haven't discussed?
Chelsea.
Kingdom FC. Your time has come. Chelsea
you knew it
1,
was Chelsea.
Brighton
You deliberately
3.
left it.
Well...
Yes, you did. Don't lie. You deliberately left it there.
Go on then.
No,
Chelsea.
You're the one that wants to talk about Chelsea, my darling.
I don't. I think the wheels are falling off. I think the wheels are falling off. And I think all's not well behind the scenes at Chelsea.
But
I think
why?
we're going into this cycle again of them. Like, I think the decision to play Palmer last week, despite the fact the medical staff said don't play him, or we assume that the medical staff did some tests and showed that there was a problem, and he still played anyway, it's mad. That, to me, says there's fundamental issues at the club, right? And I wonder whether there's a few players that have just gone, you've put Palmer at risk there, and now he's out for 3 or 4 weeks.
Where have you got this narrative from?
Well, just what I'm saying. That's just my opinion, Sam. I'm allowed to have an opinion. And so it showed. Again, discipline, again, a problem here. So now they're without Chalobah again for another couple of weeks. I mean, it actually wasn't his fault, that red card, right? I can't even remember who it was that played him into trouble, but there's one of his defensive colleagues played him into massive trouble, and he just has to take them. Well, it doesn't have to take the man out, but it's a goal if he doesn't. So he does, and now he's going to miss a couple of games, including the Liverpool one. So that's a big problem now. They've got issues at the back now, Chelsea, and I'm pleased that they have, because it's us next. And they just fell apart. They absolutely fell apart. And to go 2-1 down after 90 minutes, and then for Welbeck to come in with, one right at the death as well. Listen, Brighton, no mugs. Absolutely no mugs, as they showed against you lot last week. They're playing very, very well indeed. But Chelsea just collapsing at home is a bit of a concern, no?
Yeah, I don't buy into the players don't trust anyone because they've ignored the medical staff, because I don't think they did ignore the medical staff. I don't think that's a thing. I think that's made up. I think that if they were told you can't play Palmer, they don't play Palmer. I don't know that they were told that. And I don't think the players think that either. I do think that there is an issue. That's 2 red cards in a row, and that is a problem. That's more of an issue. But I think that's more to do with... Last week, I think it's just Sanchez being too pumped up and just... Because it happens early in the game. I think he's just too excited at that point, and he just goes and makes a rogue decision. This one, he makes the decision to make that tackle, but on the basis that I don't think he has a lot of choice, because otherwise it's a goal. So he does his best and hopes he gets it right and gets it entirely wrong and gets sent off, and it does now leave them short for next week, because they lost Tosin as well ahead of this one, so they are short now heading into the Champions League.
Got the lad probably, is it Acheampong, I think? Who's like, what is he like?
He's a kid,
20 years old only, 19, yeah.
And so going into the Champions League, they've got an issue, and then obviously they've got you lot at the weekend, so that is going to be problematic for them defensively. So I wouldn't want to have a Chelsea defender in my team going into the game against Liverpool anyway, because it's Liverpool, and I don't think that there's going to be a clean sheet there, but I do think it will be difficult for them, particularly given, they're dealing now with not just injuries, but also another red card. All
right. João Pedro, any concerns? Thought he might show up for this one against his old team, no?
Yeah, but then also sometimes, your old team knows you best, right? And they know how to defend against you. These are players that have been used to playing against him or playing with him week after week after week. So maybe there's a little element of that to it. I thought he was all right, actually. I didn't think he was too bad in all of this. So he's not a player I'm particularly concerned about. You have a habit of falling asleep, so there can easily still be goals for Chelsea in this one, particularly in a home game against you lot. So I'm happy enough to keep João Pedro. I think if over the next couple of weeks we see this continued drop-off, that's when I'll look to move him on. But right now, I'm still happy to hold.
I don't think he's looked good for 2 or 3 weeks now, to be honest with you, and I think... can see me getting impatient with him. Let's see. Brighton, though, the player that I'd like to point out here, the one that I nearly went with on Wildcard, when I was thinking about who should I have in my 5th midfield spot for a bit of fun, I went with Xavi Simons, but one that I was considering was Minter. This guy's engine is absolutely unreal,
quality,
isn't it?
Yeah.
He runs and runs like you wouldn't believe. Even on the 3rd goal, right, on the 96th, 7th minute, whatever it is, he's hounding that Chelsea defence to get the ball back, and he does, and he gets it to Welbeck. And it's like, I just really thought it was a brilliant performance by Minter. I mean, are we overlooking him a little bit? Should we be looking at him?
Yeah, probably, possibly. I mean, I think Brighton, they were a team, I looked at him on Wildcard, they were a team I was thinking about. I wanted to stick with Kudus for the next couple of weeks. I think post-game week 8, that's when I possibly look to move on Kudus. And when I look at doing that, then maybe that's the time that I start looking a bit more seriously at Brighton.
Right. Well, the Brighton fixtures are Wolves up next, which looks nice. Newcastle at home, United away, Leeds and Crystal Palace. So, it ain't looking bad for Brighton.
Nope.
Not looking bad. We perhaps should have put a bit more thought into them when we were doing our wildcard. Let's finish up these games. Then, Sam, anything else you want to discuss? The heroes at Bournemouth. Senesi with his Defcons once again. Semenyo with the free kick. And pre-season favourite Karupi Jr. in with the second goal. Much to talk about in this game?
No, just invest in Bournemouth and stay there.
Just good, aren't they?
They're just good.
Just good. Them and Palace, both just good, aren't they? They're good. Anything else from these games? Let's see. What else have we missed?
I think they've done.
Well, the only clean sheet, the Alderete one. The clean sheet, Ange Ball. Getting off to a good start.
Sacked by Christmas?
What did I say to you when I saw that result? Ange will be out by Christmas. That is my prediction.
Well, you said that before that result.
I did, but you've got an owner that likes to stick with his managers, whereas they've got Marinakis, and I think he's just completely rogue, isn't he? He'll just sack him by Christmas because he won't be up. He just won't get the results, I don't think. Anyway, let's do game week scores then. So here is my game week so far: 54. Small red arrow, so not that great on Wildcard, to be honest with you. But Tarkowski and Dewsbury Hall still to play. Obviously, it could have been a lot different if Fernandes puts that penalty away. Obviously, could have been very different. But Haaland obviously done well. Senesi's good. Semenyo good. So, these are players, though, that I would have had I not played the wildcard and just done my 2 transfers. So had I just done Ollie Watkins and Salah to Reinders and Haaland, I already had Semenyo. I already had Senesi. So there was players in there that were already doing well for me. I think it's okay, though. I'm not, too disappointed. Obviously, my Everton boys, they might do well tomorrow, and my small red might turn into a small green. Who knows? But a game week rank of 3.9. I've got a couple of million in the bank and 2 free transfers. So when I look at my team for next week, this is what my coach team looks like for next week.
It's a bus.
It's a coach. This is what my coach team looks like for next week. Raya, obviously fine. Senesi and Semenyo, all the Bournemouth guys look fine. So I'll read it out for the podcast. Raya in goal. So this is game week 7. Tarkowski, Senesi and Gahey at the back. I don't like Tarkowski and Gahey playing each other, but we'll talk about that in a second. Currently Xavi, Reinders, Semenyo, Fernandes and Dewsbury Hall in midfield. Erling Haaland captain and Gyökeres up front with João Pedro first sub, Van der Ven second sub and Goodmanson third sub with Dubravka as my goalkeeper sub.
Van der Ven is a disgrace, by the way.
Well,
that's disgraceful. Leave from FPL. That's just jealousy.
Go on then. What other than that particular? I mean, I should be playing him over Xavi if Xavi's going to play left wing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't like defenders against each other. That always feels a bit difficult, doesn't it? Like that, and that's I don't know. Defenders against each other never fills me with huge amounts of joy. But I don't. It's difficult with your front 8 because there isn't an obvious bencher every week, is there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't see, and there's so L14M in the chat is saying haven't really understood the coach team. The coach team is basically the team that we've got prepared for next week.
Bus team.
We call it. It was coined by the boys at Always Cheating, wasn't it? A while back, the bus team. If you got hit by a bus tomorrow, make sure that you've got your FPL team set up so that you don't miss out on any points that week. And you've decided to put a picture of a coach next to.
It's a bus.
Yeah,
it's like the bus.
A bus next to it.
It's the team bus.
It's the team bus. It's the team
bus. They
bus.
don't call it the team coach, do they? They're on the team bus.
Thoughts for transfers for next week then? Xavi to Eze, definitely on my mind. That's the only one though, really. That's the only one. Of course, I'd like to go for Gabriel, but then I can't have 4 Arsenal, can I? So probably looking for Eze, probably the one. But we've got to get the European games out of the way, right? I'm not going to make any knee-jerk transfers. But money and transfers both in the bank to sort that out for next week. Before we talk about your team, Sam, let's answer a super chat that's come in on the YouTube. So FPL Victoria's Secret, thank you very much for the super chat. Good one for you, actually, Sam. Would you play Stack or Anderson over João Pedro this week? So João Pedro at home to Liverpool. Would you play Stack or Anderson? You've got Stack in your team. Are you going to be playing him?
Who's Anderson got? Is it Bournemouth?
Don't know, to be honest.
Which Anderson? Fulham? Forest?
Let's assume Forest, yeah, because it's Stack or Anderson. So, yeah.
Got to look who he's got.
Forest have got Newcastle away. Don't fancy that for Anderson.
I definitely won't. Well, you might get some DevCon, though. I don't fancy that.
Okay.
Stack. The thing with us is that actually, apart from conceding 1 to Wolves and conceding a couple to Brighton last week, when we just looked terrible, we have actually been quite solid defensively. But in the aftermath of Champions League, which is when we played Brighton, that is when we were at our worst. And so I do have a little concern, given that we are also the lunchtime kickoff on the Saturday after Champions League.
Okay.
They've given us the duff slot.
Okay.
So I do think there's potential that they score against us. Who was the other option? João Pedro. I still think I back João Pedro at home to Chelsea more than I would stack.
Home to Liverpool.
At home to Liverpool more than I would stack.
All right. 62 for you this week then? Pretty good.
Yeah, but it really does feel like a week of what could have been.
A lot of twos in there, isn't there?
There's a lot of twos. Nick Pope really should have been on a hatful. That feels really unlucky. And, you know,
Kudus could have had more than two, couldn't he? Easily.
Kudus could have had 2 goals. And then I'm looking at, a 10-pointer from Nick Pope and a 10-pointer from Kudus. And then suddenly I'm in the 80s, which is competing with the triple captainers. And if you're there, that is, really good. But I'm not feeling down about it, because it's 2 million, over 2 million places up. So that is a really good start. It's a really, really good start with the free... goodness me, with the wild card, and it sets me up well going into 7. Unlike you, I don't think I'm doing anything because I'm happy.
All right.
I'm happy to stick with what I have. In fact, I'm going in exactly the same as I have this week. No changes at all, including the captaincy and the vice captaincy staying exactly the same as they were.
Not tempted with Alderete away at Man United?
Who would you bench?
Who would I bench?
Mickey Van de Ven, you're going to say, and I'm not doing that.
Him or João Pedro, yeah.
No. So I'm not tempted. Alderete is there for game week 8 when I'm playing my bench boost.
Okay.
That's why he's there. I don't fancy him to keep a clean sheet against Manchester United. For all the things that we said about Manchester United before, I do think they will score at home against Sunderland.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I do. So I'm happy with my team. So I've got 2 free transfers. As long as nothing happens majorly in the Champions League in midweek, I'm happy to roll through this one. And then that gives me into a bench boost in 8. And if nothing happens, I'm happy to bench boost with what I have going into that. So I feel like I'm set up, and then I'll be coming out of that with 4 free transfers in the bank. So, and at that point, you can do what you like. It's like a mini wildcard, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm happy. Obviously, tomorrow's going to hurt a little bit. The Grealishes, the Ndais,
the Tacos. Yeah.
I'm actually hoping for a West Ham win, because no one's got West Ham. So if West Ham go and win 1-0, and it's not Bowen, I think, or Juve, I actually think that'll be quite good for me. So hopefully a little Hammers victory, although I appreciate that won't be good for you. But I am relatively happy coming out of Wildcard that we've made some good progress. And
okay.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, very, very good. All right, before we go and talk about what's coming up this week, let's have a quick shout out to our friends at Fantasy Football Scout. Those of you that have been following us for a while will know that we've been working with Fantasy Football Scout for a very long time, right? I have been using Fantasy Football Scout and the members area, which you can see here on my iPad. I don't know if you can see that very well, right? But if you're a Fantasy Football Scout member, you will be intimately aware of the members area. It is the one-stop shop everywhere, or every stat that you could need from the game week, it's in the members area. It's so good. We use it every single Sunday here on FPL Family. I've been playing FPL for 15 years or something ridiculous, right? And I first got into FPL mainly because, or I first started getting good at FPL 2 or 3 seasons in, because I found Fantasy Football Scout and I started using the forums and talking to people. So if you are not yet a member at Fantasy Football Scout, you can go and use our code and the link in the description below for 5% off of Fantasy Football Scout membership. So the fact that it's game week 6, guys, is not too late. It's not too late to go and join the team over at Fantasy Football Scout and get access to the members area and the fixture tickers and the forums and all that sort of good stuff. Articles every single day about fantasy football. So this is a little bit of a hashtag ad. As you know, Sam is very intimately alongside all of the team at Fantasy Football Scout. So we are big advocates of them. We love the team over at Scout. So we use them absolutely every single week when we're playing FPL. So go check it out. Go check it out. Sam, what is going on? Oh no, that's not the one. That's not the one. I'm coming back. There it is. Tell everyone what is. My navigation on here tonight has been absolutely terrible. I do apologise. I've been jumping around screen to screen like you wouldn't believe.
Almost as bad as Konate's defending of Ishmael.
Do you know what? There has been, I've noticed, a few little digs at Liverpool from you this evening. I've noticed. It's okay. We don't lose every week.
So you immediately wanted to shack off a Spurs player in favour of an Arsenal player. I mean, that's a disgrace, quite frankly, living with me.
Okay, but there's been a few little digs with Liverpool. It's okay. I can take it. We don't lose every week, and it's the first time we've lost in 6 weeks. So get your digs in.
I'm looking forward to this season's derbies.
Are you?
Yeah, because I think this year. The last couple of years, you've got used to,
being good.
Ange Ball. Frank Ball's very different.
Oh, trust me, I know. Yeah. Is that you finally admitting that Ange Ball's complete guff?
No, I enjoyed watching it. It was fun.
Did you? All right, okay.
But we won a trophy.
You did.
You see a nice picture of us lifting a trophy.
You did, yeah. You did.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Okay. Tell people what's going on this week.
Busy always. So this week we are doing Sky again. We're on Sky it's a Friday deadline this week, so don't forget that. So we'll be on Sky on Friday morning this week. So if you are working from home and have Sky Sports News on in the background, you will see our little faces appear on that. I'll be back with the pod this week with Jules and Kelly as usual. I'll be back with Az on the Q&A as usual this week.
Off the bench this week, me or you? No.
I did last week.
Oh, okay. Who's on this week?
I want to say
like a Gianni week.
It's Gianni and Oscar, I think,
very
this
good.
week, because I was on with Harry last week. So give that a listen. But yeah, it's going to be a busy week, and obviously it's a little bit condensed because it's the Friday deadline. So make sure that you get your team set up for that, and it's Champions League action. So be a little bit patient. And if you're playing Champions League Fantasy, you can join our Champions League Fantasy League as well. The code is over on our Instagram channel.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us here on FPL Family. There's a few people in the chat saying that Europe have just retained the Ryder Cup. So I'm going to go and watch some of the celebrations while you make me another cup of tea.
What?
Thank you for joining us here on FPL Family. Like and subscribe, all that sort of good stuff. And we'll see you this time next Sunday for a look back at Game Week 7. See you then, guys.
Bye, guys. Green arrows.